What's good, y'all? This your boy Shatek, the producer. We on the Beats on Film Network. We call this one Conversations on Film. We have our co-hosts here, JC the Light and Jada G. We're gonna talk about the release of Britteny Griner. That's her name.
That's her name.
Britteny Griner.
BG.
BG, are you with me?
BG. And we ain't talking about from Cash Money.
Right.
Yeah. Coming home too.
He coming home soon
He
too.
is about to hit
Shout out
home.
to
Hit the
BG.
bricks.
Yeah.
14 years.
And the trade for her. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So I made a post yesterday, and I'm going to just start it off with some controversial shit. We can curse?
Yes.
Okay, I just had to know. Black people, we got damn if you do and damn if you don't. Now, we've been hollering, holler if you hear me. We've been hollering for about 10 months about how Uncle Joe Biden, didn't do what he needed to be done to get her home. And now we got BG home. She's free. She's out of the Russian penal system that she was in. And we big mad. And I just don't understand why. I'm happy she's home. Whatever we had to do to get her home, because the charges was bogus as fuck. You know it. I know it. We all know it. She was a political pawn. And I'm just very, very happy and grateful to God, powers that be, that she's home. What you gotta say?
I'm happy she's home as well. I feel like all black people should be upset because she's been in there for too long.
Agreed.
And I feel like black people shouldn't try to play this political game like, oh, she got traded for the war of death or the arms of death, whatever his name is.
The Merchant of Death.
The Merchant of Death. I understand that, but a lot of black people have been incarcerated for mad long.
Yeah.
And we never got traded for nobody.
Nobody.
So I'm grateful that she's home. I'm happy.
I so agree with you, because I want y'all out there to seriously, all these political poli-sci majors online, because you ain't never been in college, but
Facts.
all these poli-sci majors, I want you to tell me a time that you know of any people of African descent who've ever been rescued by the United States of America. I'm gonna hold my breath and wait. I don't want to die because I got allergies. Anywho.
And on top of it, it's like, she's part of the LGBTQ community.
She is.
Where was I feel like they kind of like lightly disappeared when she went to jail.
They did. Well, I gotta be real. Y'all about to be mad about this. Online, I felt like there was a lot of African Americans condemning her simply because she caught a charge across abroad. You know, it was a lot of, oh, well, you know, you got to know where you at. My nigga, you don't even know where you at when you in Hollis. Are you kidding me? Like, is you for real?
And you from Hempstead. I don't know how to take that, but I understand. I don't know how to take that, but it's all good. I used to live in Hollis. When I first went to Queens, it was Hollis. It's all right, though. It's all right.
Hey, lover. Right. But what I'm saying is, like, how are you out here talking about international laws and you ain't never traveled abroad? You ain't never even been out of the state. Like,
Okay.
at the end of the day, I think this sparks a bigger conversation. We do need to realize that, let's just put it out there, African American people, people of the African diaspora, we are one of the most hated groups, if not the most hated groups in the world. That's why I don't want to get off topic. But when we talk about reparations, there's a reason why they don't want to give us reparations, because there's too many people who owe us. We wouldn't just be paid by the United States of America. We'd be paid by Spain. We'd be paid by Brazil. We'd be paid by, not Brazil, we'd be paid by the Netherlands. We'd be paid by the French. They don't want to talk about what they owe us because there's too many people who do owe us. So when you travel abroad, it is your due diligence to make sure you know where you are amongst whom you are.
When back in the slavery days, right? Like when a black person tried to like read something, you would get hit for it, right? You would get punished for it. All right. So now the same thing applies to Britteny Griner. She went to Russia, hold on, another country with cartridges of weed.
Allegedly.
Now,
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? So why would you do that, number one? Number two, we've all been traumatized from every time we try to learn or get better in life, we always get punished for it. So she feels that, you know what, I'm part of the LGBTQ community. I'm a basketball player. I should be good. But at the end of the day, you're in another country. This is other people's rules. I'm from New York City. You will never find me in Mississippi.
Right. That part.
You will never find me in Alabama,
Right.
Tennessee. I'm being real. I love Lil Gotti and all these people. I
Shout
mess
out
with
to
them.
Alabama, Mississippi.
I love these people, but I know my place in life. That's not for me, especially if I'm not nobody and if I don't got no troops or people that's really gonna back me up for real when it's wartime.
But
I would
wasn't
never
she
do
out
that.
there for work?
She was. So and that's what I want to get to. So at the end of the day, one of the things that as Black people we're gonna do, we're gonna get to the bag. Okay, if the bag is in Russia, we're going to Russia. If the bag is in Antarctica, get your fucking snowsuit. We're going to Antarctica. You understand? So I'm never gonna get upset about her for going for work purposes, but it goes back to doing your due diligence. Now we, at this time, when she's there, we are clearly not in a good space with Russia. And so that's where I need for all my fake poli-sci people online. We have to start being abreast of what is happening currently abroad and in our nation. Because that, for us, it's we don't have the, I don't want to say the opportunity. We don't have the ability. We don't have the luxury.
Yeah.
That's the word. We don't have the luxury of feigning ignorance to anything. And it is our job to be aware of what is happening, because what happens to, when, like Martin Luther King said, when the rest of the world gets a cold, Black people get pneumonia. You understand? So we can't willy-nilly just go anywhere free. Now, we knew that we were in a cold war with Russia. Okay? You went over there, Brittany. I ain't mad at you. You went to get the bag. Because let's talk about it. Maybe she wouldn't have had to travel WNBA if y'all was paying your WNBA players the way you pay your NBA players.
But what if, people don't watch that shit?
Wow, that was horrible.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, not trying to be disrespectful, but
That's right.
nobody watches it. When the last time you watched a WNBA game?
Why you asking me questions?
A WNBA game. I've watched.
When Lisa Leslie played,
Cheryl
shout out to
Stoops?
Lisa Leslie. When Skylar Lark
Cynthia
played.
Cooper.
But there's a problem with that in itself. Why don't we watch the WNBA? Why don't we watch women's soccer? There is a problem in America. Oh God, we about to digress into a whole bunch of
Some
stuff.
white people feel like, why are Black women playing basketball anyway?
Why are we worried about what they feel like?
I'm just saying.
Let me ask you a question. As a Black man, you just said you ain't watching Cynthia Cooper. So why do you have a problem with watching Black women play basketball?
I don't have a problem with that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I support my sisters no matter what they do. You understand? But it's like, if I'm a man and I'm watching men's sports, right? I'm gonna watch them before I watch the woman, correct? So my watch time is not gonna be the same as I watch.
Why not? If you're a sport, see, that's the problem,
because
right there. You see what you said. If I'm a man and I watch men, I'm a woman and I watch men's sports. Sports. If you're a sports addict, you watch
right.
sports.
I'm going off my watch time. My watch time is more of men than it is of
women.
UConn basketball women, or you know what I mean, the Huskiettes or whatever.
I'm done.
Yo, you get what I'm saying? I'm just saying my watch time is
so they
more.
Can't be the women Huskies.
I'm just saying.
You see this shit?
My watch time is different. It's not saying I'm not for them. I've been to Liberty games before.
I like Liberty games.
I've racked up my third girlfriend at the Liberty game.
Listen, I feel like what I do believe is that her consequence, confinement, and now her being released, I do believe that it's going to give a bigger voice to WNBA. And that in itself, although she had to endure that, that's going to be good, because people right now, they're going to be flocking to whatever team. I don't even know what team she played for. But whatever team she played for, please believe they're about to be sold out, because people want to be supportive. So, there's always that. I always say in any storm you go through, there's a lesson. You might not see it right then and there, but there's a lesson and there's a blessing. So the blessing might be that people are going to be more supportive of the NBA so that they don't have to travel abroad to get money the way that maybe NBA players do. And I will say this. I don't think it would have took this long to go get LeBron, Joe.
Of course.
Uncle Joe wouldn't have took this goddamn long
now,
to go get LeBron in them.
What I'm going to say is that, the first letter in the alphabet is A. A stands for what? Accountability. There's no way in the world you're from the United States of America and go to another country and think you can do the same things that you did in this country. No way in the world.
Allegedly.
Whatever. weed is legal in some parts of the U.S., right? Or maybe all. I don't know.
No,
The
some
rules
parts.
change all the time, right?
Yeah.
Who are you to think that you can go to another country
Allegedly.
with something that's illegal?
Now, let's be real. And the reason why I keep saying allegedly, because let's be very real. Brittany Griner was a political pawn. We don't even know if what they said she had, she actually did have. And I'm very interested in hearing her story when she starts her healing process and she's ready to speak out. I want to know. We don't even know if what they say she had. Because who the fuck is caught with an empty cartridge? Come on now. We know better than that shit. We throwing away Dutch guts and everything else. Why is we getting caught with the empty cartridge of hash oil?
Did she say she didn't have that?
Well, she had to say, first of all, this was, and I did follow this because I actually was a poli-sci major. But, right. But they were told that she should not, she had to plead guilty in Russian law because had she not pleaded guilty, they would have had more severe charges against her. So we don't know for certain if she even had what they said she had.
You're gonna wait.
What I do know, because we're going to get to this part too. What I do know is that we know that Russia and the United States of America have very, very, very intense, fraught relations, and they knew what they had. I don't know if they felt like she was this big major star, but I think they knew that they had someone that we would be willing to negotiate for. Right. And they wanted Victor Bout out of jail.
All right,
They've been wanting him out.
So do we feel that Victor Bout being they traded for Victor Bout, right? Mm-hmm. The Merchant of Death, right?
Merchant of Death.
He's been convicted by a New York jury on 4 counts that included conspiring to kill American citizens, according to the New York Times. The Times reports that Bout had evaded capture for years and was probably the highest profile Russian in U.S. custody. Was that a great trade for America? Like to get someone that was conspiring to dun us, right? To get us out of here for her.
If I'm being honest, hell to the no. But what I will say is this. Sometimes you got to lose to win again. Here's what I think. In my opinion, Joe Biden just felt like he bought the African-American vote by freeing BG. African-American people were the most vocal in the support of releasing Brittany Griner, even though y'all don't flip now, but we were more vocal. We waged online campaigns to free her. And so in him doing so, I believe he felt that he endeared himself to the African-American community by releasing her. Now, do I feel it was something that was a fair trade or something that was a favorable trade? Absolutely not. We have poor Willin, who is a former Marine, and I am all for, my brother was in the armed forces, my sister-in-law is in the armed forces, so I'm in big support of the armed forces. There's a Marine sitting overseas who is wrongfully detained. Doing 4 years. Is it fair to leave him and bring her? I don't know. I'm just glad that Brittany Griner is home. However, to let someone go for someone who played basketball versus someone who wants to kill mass people using mass destruction, no, I don't think that was it wasn't a trade that was in our favor. But I'm glad that she's home.
I mean, when you really think about it, it's like, you know, he's a white person that got freed because he went to jail because he tried to kill other white people, correct?
Correct. All
right, so what does that say that what black people should be doing?
Minding their business. Minding the business.
Hold on, I'm just saying, if a white person went to jail for trying to kill white people, and white people probably haven't done nothing to him of what they done to us, how should black people take that?
Minding the business that pays them. This ain't our fight.
At the end of the day, you know, she went to jail, whatever, for the weed exchange or whatever she did, or cartridge or whatever.
Allegedly.
She's free for somebody else, and at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, that white man might be part of us.
You know, listen.
He's part of us because
We
he's
might
doing
have flipped
something.
him. We might have flipped him while he was in there.
Because he's doing something that black people ain't have the heart to do.
Well, if you know anything about Victor Bout, he actually supplied guns to the Congo when they were having their revolutionary fight in Africa. Russia is one of the biggest supporters of many communistic governments within Africa. So when we sit and we talk about, because we let her go for the... Mind your business.
There's only one Russian
your
person that I
business.
don't like, and that's Ivan Drago, because he killed Apollo Creed. You understand what I'm saying?
He definitely
But
killed
other
Apollo
than that, you know, listen.
Adrian!
But what I'm really trying to say is that at the end of the day, it's like, yo, listen, other countries or other communities, other cultures feel bad about how white people treated black people.
Mm-hmm.
But black people don't feel that way. They'll accept whatever comes their way.
I feel like that's because oh God, we're going to go there. But it's because we've been conditioned to want to integrate and to want to be accepted and to want to feel like, you know, we have to be harmonious. When at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with being pro-black progressiveness, and pro-us, period, for the culture. We share too much of our culture. And I, for one, am happy that Britteny Griner does not have to sit in a place where she does not belong for, allegedly, a cartridge of oil. Are you kidding? Are you shitting me? I don't care
But you
who
know,
they had to. I don't care who they had to give up to release her.
This is so. All right. So say for instance, Killer Joe from the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened to him. He a hood dude, but it's like, do we trade Killer Joe for Killer V from Russia?
Listen, you got niggas all day screaming free him, knowing him don't deserve to be free.
He
Right.
kidnapped kids. He did.
Right, like you
He molested kids. He did all types of shit.
You know your cousin Mookie deserved to be fucking locked down in cell 4B, but you're screaming free him. Okay? So, like, we have to learn it, like you said. What's the first letter in the alphabet?
A.
What it stand for?
Accountability.
That whole part. We gotta learn how to use
fact.
that accountability factor. You dig? Like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And at the end of the day, let the crime fit the punishment. To me, that crime didn't fit that punishment. However, it goes back to what my man Jay-Z said. You gotta know whom you gotta know your audience. You gotta know you can't. If you in a room full of red, you can't be wearing blue. And if you're wearing blue, you might want to duck down. Like, you gotta know where you are. You have to know who you're around. And you have to know how to. A stands for adaptability. You have to be able to adapt to different situations, different rooms. I always say my father's favorite line, as he told me, you have to be able to walk and talk with kings and queens, sit with fools, and still be able to communicate with the common man. Put me in any audience, any arena, any room, I'm going to be okay. So you have to know where you are. You have to know how to move. And I just feel like when it comes to Joe Blow, I would say the same thing. Like, if we got to trade such and such to get him out, it is what it is.
I'll trade Dr. Umar Johnson for Joe Biden right now. You feel me?
What?
I would. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, bro, like,
Shout out to Dr.
where was
Umar.
the all just aside? Where was the LGBTQ community when she got locked up? I didn't hear them. I heard them for other things. I didn't
Yeah.
for this. Listen, this is their people, right?
Yeah.
I didn't hear them.
You didn't hear
Where
them?
were they at?
I heard them. I think I heard them, but they weren't loud. They weren't proud.
Thank you. They weren't loud.
Proud.
You know why? Because she was black.
Maybe no. I'm gonna tell you one.
And it's
other thing.
another
Go
thing.
ahead.
When you're black, you're still at the bottom of the totem pole.
You are.
Doesn't matter. You could be gay. You're still at the bottom.
Agreed.
And this is a situation where all the LGBTQ people that's in the community should understand that even though you're black, you're still in the bottom when it comes to other situations. When it comes to things that can get you when it comes to freedom is involved, you're at the bottom. She should have been home. That should have been no conversation. Yo, listen, it was a mistake. It's so good. She's a fucking WNBA player. Get out. Yo, what you mean? Are they? Hell no. She's out right now. The fact that it didn't happen, it just goes to show you, when you're black, you have a place in this world.
I got one even better for you. When you're a black woman, you are at the totem pole. There is no other species, there is no other gender that is more disrespected than the black woman And if you don't know that by now, if you don't agree with it, you have seen it in real time. And there is no way that a white lesbian NBA player would have done 10 months in Russia.
She wouldn't even been 10 minutes.
Right. All right. So.
Oh my God.
All right.